Thank you. I'd like to show this off a little bit to start with. I have always been proud of my father, of his service. I have been proud of America, proud of any soldier that is willing to put their life on hold, their life on the line. But lately, my pride extends out to the families that allow their loved one to serve, that let their loved ones fight for this country, allow their families and their loved ones to maybe make the ultimate sacrifice for this country. This little binder, I know it looks a little kiddish. Well, that's because I made it when I was in 5th grade. We had a poetry assignment. Yes, poetry, not a really big poet. But to do poetry about something we cared about. I picked North Dakota National Guard because it was a part of my life since I was about 6. So, military has been part of my life for many years. And today I will do my best to share my respects and my thoughts on the tragic event of 9/11. 10 years ago, I was in high school, just turned 16. My second period of my class, I walked into my biology, sat down, teacher walked in quite a hurry. Said, "You guys, it's here, it's going on." Look at confusion went across my face. Oh. Flips on the TV. And at that time, it was a rerun of the second plane hitting the World Trade Center. I didn't even know what to feel. Scared, terrified, once again confused. Wasn't so much angry at this point in my life. And I didn't know how this was going to change my life personally. I didn't know how dramatically it was going to change my life. So, it took many lives away. It took away parents, mothers, fathers, children, aunts, uncles. This day, 10 years ago, terrified a nation. Terrified it. Because we didn't know what was going to happen next. One of my friends recently said, is equivalent to the Pearl Harbor of our generation. I feel that it's very fitting. So after September 11th, for me, life went on fairly normal. As normal as it could for me. It wasn't until 2 years later that my father's phone rang. And it was a call that his unit had been activated. That was a hard moment for me. The moment that I knew my father was going to go to war. I remember we sat down on the couch and I cried. Not because my father was going to be leaving for an indefinite period of time. Because in my mind, I was preparing for the worst. I was going to hope for the best, pray really hard, and hope I was going to hit somewhere in the middle. But I knew there was a chance this might be one of my last of my father. So 2 years after we got the call, we got the call 2 years after the Twin Towers. February 2003, my father left for training, and then around April 2003, he left to Iraq. Father was killed on January 24th, 2004, 3 months before his unit came home. That was hard for me. I was only 18 at the time when my father was killed in action. Through the years that I have grown and matured, out of this tragedy of mine, I've learned some things. Even in tragedy, there can be a lesson to learn, sometimes hard to swallow. And believe you me, it has been a very, very hard lesson for me to swallow and learn from. I don't like saying that I learned something from the loss of my father. But I learned to be thankful. I learned if you see somebody in a military uniform, you take the time and stop and say thank you. Unless it's a Marine getting married and taking wedding pictures. I was not. I just kind of nodded and waved. He could have really hurt me. So I've become more grateful for the big things, for the little things. Been more grateful for this country. Been more grateful for my family, my friends, for somebody I don't even know, just somebody that says hi to me. I'm thankful for them. One thing I want to share that I remember after my father was killed, I was very sad, obviously. But then anger. Very, very angry. Then sadness again. And then anger. You can kind of see a pattern going there. And I started saying out loud, why did my father have to die? I was very angrily about it. And then it stopped. About the second time I said it out loud, I went, oh, this isn't all about me. Many people have died on the attacks on September 11th. Why'd they have to die? There was Keith Schmitty in the truck with my father. Why did he have to die? He was younger than my dad. Tony Monroe, I went to high school with. I played cards with him every day before school started. Why did he have to die? Why did I have to go to my friend's funeral? But they died because they were proud of this country. At that moment, it stopped becoming about Trevor. It became about America and the soldiers and their families. Something I want to share with you that I recently found. My grandfather, Lyle Hendrickson, got an email that he passed on to me, and honestly, I didn't read it till last night. And I don't know why. But it just must have reappeared at the time when I needed it. This email is from Lieutenant Colonel that flew my father and Keith out of Iraq into Kuwait, the first leg on their way home. This is a little section of it that I think is fitting to remind me that it's not all about just me and my father, that there are many soldiers. And this is his words in his email. I cannot adequately describe the feeling conjured up by the sight of 2 caskets being loaded onto my plane, then a few hours later being told there were 3 more. I physically hurt, and we worked silently to configure the back of the airplane to accommodate the placement of the big metal caskets. I'm grateful to that Lieutenant Colonel also. He was one of the gentlemen that laid a flag on my father's casket, and my father so proudly served. I didn't know there was 5 soldiers that lost their lives that day. I knew of 2. Now that I know there's 3 more, now I want to know their story. I want to reach out to their family. This tragedy, once again, has taught me to be thankful. And I'm thankful to all of you sitting here today. Thank you for sitting in the hot sun. Because if you're wearing a suit, it is very hot. For 10 years, we have fought this global war on terrorism. In the most recent years, we have brought to justice many of the men that have been held responsible for the attacks on the World Trade Center. But it is not over. And we will not stop. There's a reminder on my phone this morning when I looked at it for the news that 77 Americans were wounded in Afghanistan. My heart goes out to their families. Just a solemn reminder, it's not over. There have been many other people other than these 24 brave soldiers that have made the ultimate sacrifice. We'll never forget them either. And once again, I am grateful to anybody that is willing to put on the uniform to serve this great country, that is willing to sacrifice their lives. In close, I'd like to share a little poem, not one that I wrote. Trust me, they're from 5th grade, you don't want to hear those ones. But one that was actually shared one time by Senator Hoban back when he was governor, and it's kind of stuck with me ever since then. I remember I actually got a print copy of it from him, because it just it really, really stuck out. And the words in it are very, very true. It's called "It Is the Soldier" by Charles M. Robbins. It is the soldier, not the minister, who has given us freedom of religion. It is the soldier, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of press. It is the soldier, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech. It is the soldier, not the campus organizer, who has given us freedom to protest. It is the soldier, not the lawyer, who has given us a right to a fair trial. It is the soldier, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote. It is a soldier that salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, and whose coffin is draped by the flag, who allows the protester to burn the flag. Thank you everyone once again, and God bless.